Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. We've got a jam-packed show today, and I'm so excited about our first guest because we're talking about the banking industry. My first guest is the Chief Lending Officer and the founder, one of the founders of Texas Capital Bank. His name is Vince Ackerson. Vince, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jeff. Great to be here.
How did it all start?
Well, we were, a number of us that started the bank, all of us actually, had been bankers in our previous careers, but had since left banking, had opportunities in other industries. But during that time when we were banking those companies at banks, that we kind of lost the entrepreneurship and the local bank that really had the ability to help local companies grow, because we've been acquired. All the major banks have been acquired by other out-of-state institutions. So we thought there was a niche here to, after we kind of all came together, put together a bank that we could bank local companies and really start a major bank here that was headquartered in Dallas with Dallas people. Ultimately, we went to all the major markets here in Texas, the 5 major markets, hired local people to really help local businesses grow and succeed.
I mean, you have to be an entrepreneur to start a bank in a crowded space. I mean, even when you started it in 2009, right, it was a very crowded space.
It's still a crowded space, and it always has been, but there's a difference between the larger institutions which do things more on a systems basis. In other words, the individuals aren't as important to the process of delivering their services, whereas with our bank, the individuals are critical to that, and the experience that our customers have in working with our borrowers or our depositors. It's all basically the delivery model is a personal service as opposed to just institutional 1-800 number. We don't have that. I mean, you call me, I answer my own phone, just like everybody else in our bank, to make sure that we're serving your needs.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because I do think that whether it's a retail bank or a commercial bank, people do feel like a number sometimes. What do you guys do at Texas Capital to ensure that you're not getting so big or growing so fast that you lose sight of what's really important?
Well, first of all, it really has to do with the people that you hire. And from the very beginning, myself and my other partners have been integral in hiring everybody. We don't allow that to be just an HR function. We actually interview the people, make sure they fit our culture, make sure they have a service kind of an attitude as opposed to more of an institutional attitude. So it really, boils down to hiring good people that understand that the customer is very important to our success and really the success of our bank. And we've grown from 0 to $20 billion without acquisitions, just by hiring one good person after another to deliver those great services to our customers. And our customers, in turn, have been our biggest advocates. 98% of our business comes through referrals from other customers.
Wow.
Which is amazing. I mean, so we don't do a lot of advertising. You don't see us out there, providing a lot of other media services to attract customers. Our customers or who brings customers to us.
Wow, it doesn't get any better than that.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
So it was a great model.
Tell me a story. Tell me a story of a customer who you were able to help in a time of need.
Well, there's a number of them that I can think about as we sit here. One of them is in the mortgage business back in 2009 and 2008. A lot of people left that business, and we provide loans to mortgage banks. So the local mortgage bank that the people call on you and do your mortgage for you and all, we provide the loan to them so they can provide it to you so you can, have a house. Well, back in 2008 and 9, all the major banks decided we don't want to be in that industry anymore. We don't want to help those people anymore for competitive reasons, because they compete with them and because, they didn't, mortgage had a bad name back then. So we were doing about $300 million a month in volume with these mortgage banks. We are now doing almost $10 billion a month.
Wow.
Because those people left those people without any financing sources. So we literally had customers calling us on a Friday saying, I've just been cut off by this large institution. Can you help me out? And we had to literally double, triple, quadruple people's lines of credit to keep them in business during those lean years. And they were good companies. They were good people. They weren't doing bad mortgages. They were family-owned businesses for the most part, all of them privately owned. Good people, they didn't have access to capital, and we basically stepped in that gap during those periods of time. And as a result, those companies survived and prospered, and they're the major mortgage companies in the United States right now.
That's a great story. Vince Ackerson, he is the Chief Lending Officer and one of the founders of Texas Capital Bank. Let's talk about philanthropy. I was on your website, and you guys are just all over it.
You know, when we started the bank, that was a very important part. We want to give back to the community. Obviously, if we're successful in successful communities, then they go hand in hand in the marketplace. So when we moved to the Uptown location in 2000 into a building there, we decided really West Dallas was an area that we really wanted to help. And so we got very involved in that. We're active in the schools there. We were active in the community there to help that community be successful with financial literacy, as well as providing things for the school, for the children of the schools there in West Dallas. We provided the loans that are basically being put together on the other side of the new bridge there or whatever to basically acquire those properties, to move new businesses into that area. If you've seen on the other side there in Trinity Groves, that was a project that we financed from the very beginning. We started that project, I think, like 12 years ago.
Wow.
And today, obviously, you see what's happening, but we were providing capital when really nobody else wanted to provide money in that particular location. So that was one of the projects that we're proud of. But the other is that a lot of people don't realize Woodall Rogers Park really wouldn't have happened without Jody Grant and Texas Capital Bank. That was a project that was kind of floundering, and Jody came to us, the other people on the management committee, asked for us to donate our money and time into that, and Jody obviously and Sheila Grant were instrumental in putting all that together. So we donated a lot of money and time at the very beginning of that to launch that particular project, which obviously Woodall Rogers Park now is a huge success.
Absolutely.
In the community. But it wouldn't have happened without our initial capital, and really Jody and Sheila, who are the backbone and people that really saw that project through.
Well, on behalf of the people of Dallas, thank you for your commitment to the city. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the people you hire and what kinds of people you look for, because somebody could be technically capable to fill that seat, but you're looking for a special kind of person.
We are, and I would say from the very beginning, that's been the cornerstone of our success, is the people that we've been able to attract and hire. At first, we were selling a dream. I mean, we didn't even have a bank. We were just starting a bank. Who knew if it was going to be successful? And we were asking people to leave their careers with major institutions where they'd been very successful to come with a startup and they didn't really know. As a result, we had to sell that dream, and we were successful at bringing those people on. But at the same time, as we've had a lot of success and grown more than other banks, our culture, we think, is the best in the industry. And we always rank as one of the best places in Dallas-Fort Worth or in San Antonio to work when they do all those surveys. And it's because we have a great culture. And it's really a lot of teamwork. Everybody is pulling in the same direction. And when we have people join us, once a month, we have a meeting of all the new people that have joined us. And at the end of the day, myself and Keith and maybe one or two of our other partners sit down with them and answer questions and talk with them for a couple of hours. And in those meetings, every time that we've had those, somebody might have been working there a day, somebody might have been working there for 30 days already, but somebody who's been there for a couple of weeks said, "This is the most amazing experience I've ever had. I've never worked at a place like this where when I came in, the people were, I had everything set up for me. Everybody's been so helpful. When I ask somebody a question, they stop whatever they're doing. They come help me to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's just a collaborative culture that we have. And as a result, we attract great people now. We have more people obviously applying for the jobs than we have. But it's really turned out to be a great experience. And I'm so proud of that we provide 1,500 great jobs here in Texas for really good people. And their families are, as a result, benefit from that. And we emphasize the fact that we don't want it to be all about work. It's important that because you work with Texas Capital Bank, you have a better home life and, better environment that you're working in. And as a result, when you go home, you feel like you've accomplished something and are successful at home as well. We want you to attend your children's ball games. We want you to do things in the community to help other people. So it's a great environment.
That's amazing. Talk to me about the industry as a whole. This has been kind of a challenging period for the industry.
It really is right now. This low interest rate environment is very difficult on banks because the interest spread that we earn isn't that great. I mean, our net interest margin industry-wide is down considerably. And then on top of that, you've had the federal government put in a lot of regulations with Dodd-Frank, which has really hampered banks from continuing to be successful. And as a result of really primarily the new regulatory environment and the interest rate environment that we're currently under, it's very difficult for banks to provide a good return on equity. Right now, the industry is returning between 6 and 8% return on equity. And when you think about it, that's not really an equity return. That's more like an investment or interest rate return or a bond return. And as a result, people are finding other industries to go invest in, whether technology, industrials, or other things that have 10 to 20% returns. And so the banking industry as a whole right now, I think if it continues like this with the overregulation that we currently have, I think that the banking industry is going to be in trouble. And that's not good for the economy because what we do is provide money to build the building that we're sitting in today, or we provide money for companies to carry their accounts receivable or to buy their inventory or to buy equipment, and which provides good jobs for people. Right. And, we literally provide, with the financing that we do, that $20 billion, there's tens of thousands of jobs that we've created in the economy. Well, if we can't do that, then those jobs don't exist.
Wow. What a great segment. We're going to absolutely have to have you back. Vince
Well, I'd love to, Jeff.
Ackerson.
Thanks.
Yeah, one of the founders and the chief lending officer of Texas Capital Bank. Thanks for being on the Jeff Crilley Show.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
All right, when we come back, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we're going to be talking to a Triple Crown winner in the world of horse health when we come back.
More of the Jeff Crilley Show coming up.